to fix the internet too, so I don't know whether to actually cancel it or not yet, so I don't know. Anyways, let's go into this. To the bottom right hand side, it is going to be our blue Terran player. Give it up for aLive. And to the upper left hand side, it is going to be our red Zerg player. It is soO. Is that Adblock Pro in the corner? It is indeed, because believe it or not, I want to adblock my own channel so that I can actually see what's happening with the stream instead of having to watch ads. It sounds kind of crazy, but I do use the adblock on my own Twitch channel. Isn't that crazy? It actually makes a lot of sense, because otherwise I have ads on, I can't actually check the stream all the time. Which, it sounds kind of dumb, because it seems like I should run ads for myself, which would be nice, but it's like one of those things where I have to see it, so... So yeah, anyways, let's do this, guys. To the top left side, soO. To the bottom right hand side, aLive, and it's best of 3 TVZ game number 1. So setting up into this, see how this is going to go. And it's a pull first into the hatchery from soO, so already playing very safely in the early stages. Well, we see from aLive, well, nothing too crazy, nothing too special just yet. Looking very standard with what is actually a gas rack, so it's not going to be a 2 racks, 2-1-1 sort of build order. It is looking to be instead a factory-based opening after this command center. So from the very get-go, aLive opening with a bit of an interesting build order here, going in towards the Hellion-based opening, maybe the Hellbat attack like we saw him use against Demilove earlier. Maybe that's going to be how he opens up with here. But let us see. Again, guys, coming in after this, we will have soO versus Innovation. Potential highlight match of the day? Well, it very well could be. This is actually a pretty interesting group. I mean, soO has been killing it in ZvT lately, but aLive has also been very good himself, and I feel that Innovation aLive matchup could go any which way, so that could be very, very interesting in the near future. As we see 2 Zerglings currently moving down the left-hand side of the map. soO having a little bit of a look to see what's going on, what might happen here, as you see that third hatchery starting up as well from soO to the top right-hand corner right now. So third hatch on the way up. Again, just setting up very nice and standard for himself as this Reaper comes across. We'll have a look to see what's going on. Problem is that Reaper is not at home to defend these 2 Zerglings which have snuck around the side, so they are going to be able to work their way through this SCV. SCV does go down, and as the SCV falls, we are going to see another SCV coming down the ramp. 2 more Marines and a Hellion popping out in the next couple of moments. So you are going to see that Zergling coming out here chasing that SCV, and we're going to see the Reaper coming in as well, and the Zergling will take some damage. So a couple of things will go down, but I mean, done a really good job delaying here. And that Reaper taking forever to come back home and to start cleaning these up to allow the building on the command center once again. So that does slow him down as aLive. Actually just going to go for a super fast 3cc. Taking a second gas behind this as well, aLive. I mean, honestly, these 3cc build orders have come back into fashion a little bit again. We've seen a lot more kind of greedy plays from Terran lately. Actually, the entire TVZ matchup has really been evolving once more as of late. It's such an interesting matchup, because I always feel the TVZ matchup is something that changes so often and so frequently in so many kind of slight ways, but this is a much larger change, going fully back in towards like very common 3cc builds with Hellion based openings or Hellbat attacks. And this is more like Heart of the Swarm TVZ than anything we've seen out of Legacy of the Void for a long time at least. So we set up into this, we see another Rax coming down. It is going to be Bio out of aLive. He's not going to look to play mech here against soO. So looking to play the Bio playstyle. We see the factory building up a reactor in the main base, and we are just seeing that Queen or 2 moving around as well, seeing where they can get up to. A couple of creep tumors spreading on out, one over to the right hand side, the other to the left. And a few more drones continuing to come on up right here. A couple of engineering bays at the front as well, as aLive continues to set up into this, and he is just really playing the part of being the macro Terran at this point of the game. You know, with extra racks coming up for the mid game, he's also got the extra engineering bays coming up as well. He's setting up into everything he needs right now to be in a very strong position as this game continues. As we see a few Hellions, the Reaper just sat out the front, just out the front right now. You can see a couple of Evo Chambers coming down as well as the Lair coming down from soO. We continue to set up into this and look to see where we're going to be going over the next few minutes. Reaper and 3 Hellions from aLive move forwards, and they are going to get some damage onto Queen right there. So a little bit of damage onto Queen initially, and we're going to be seeing still a few Zerglings from soO just sat up towards this top side. A few Hellions and the 1 Reaper to the right hand side of the map as well. And yeah, aLive just looking around, looking to see what is next for him, looking to see what else he can get up to here as he runs up in towards the third hatchery. And There's a little bit of a roasting on the queen right there for a moment or so. So a little bit of damage being done. And well, the lair will finish up very, very soon. With the Roach Warren not far behind it. Interesting that he's playing this Roach-based style. It is something we've also seen from Zergs kind of making a comeback too. We saw Lingbane Raider as being the thing to go for in recent times. And yet, all of a sudden, once again, it's all about them Roaches. Now, I do wonder if there's a timing that soO might feel as though you can hit in this game where, because aLive went for a very fast third CC, I wonder if soO just says, hey, by the time I hit +1 in Roach speed, I'm going to have a very powerful army, and you're not going to have that many units set up because you did commit into the earlier 3 bases. That's something which might happen here, though I think with the timing that soO's gone for, he might just be a little bit off of it. But I mean, look at what he's doing. 66 drones, massing Roaches. He's setting up for an attack in the very near future, so I think soO will be looking to get aggressive. You see some Zerglings already sat down towards the bottom left-hand side, so they're ready to run on in and to do what they can do. Is you see some Marines out in the center of the map as well, and they're looking to take some map control, maybe clean up some tumors. Nothing being lost this game really by either player. An SCV here, a couple of Lings here, and an Overlord. Not really much at all though, as we see one Zergling starting to work its way through this orbital command center. Some damage being taken, some mules actually dropped down from aLive as well. So some mules dropping on down, and we are going to be seeing more Roaches and Ravagers continue to come up. You'll see the Carapace upgrade will be finishing very soon. The Roach speed, again, not far away, and soO still just sat on the 66 drones. He's going to be attacking very, very shortly as a whole bunch of extra Roaches start to build. And well, here we go, soO getting set to go down the right-hand side of the map, getting ready to keep on attacking, and when I say keep on attacking, getting ready to start attacking. Marines will stim, and hey, they're going to get a couple of Ravagers here initially. No, they're not. He gets one of them. There's so many Roaches here too. I think aLive has to lift up, back away. He's just not prepared for this attack. He doesn't have any bunkers. He's not even got combat shields yet, although it is about to finish. He's got a +1 attack upgrade advantage, but I mean, the Widow Mines aren't going to help too much. You really need siege tanks against this, but that's the problem. He's not had time to identify what this is and to start building the siege tanks. Corrosive Bile will actually force these Marines to step forwards into this army. Another Bile or two will get rid of the Widow Mine in the back as well. soO knows where that is and will get rid of it as well, so they're not doing anything at all as soO about to double the supply of aLive here in game number 1. The Roaches and Ravagers continue to press on through, and again, very pressure heavy build from soO. It has to do a lot of damage because he's cutting further upgrades. He's not going into further tech, so it's sort of a do or die moment for him in a lot of ways, or do a lot of damage or die. As that's going to be GG's. He does win the game with the push, and soO, again, I think it's something you just are able to do. Bottom right hand side, let's go from the bottom. Bottom right hand side of the map is going to be the red Zerg player. Give it up if you're cheering on soO. And to the top left hand side, the blue Terran player. Give it up if you're cheering on aLive. Okay then, game number 2, this best of 3. Let's see if aLive can bounce back from what was a bit of a tough loss right there. If he loses this, he'll be 1-1 in the group, and that will mean that he basically has to beat Innovation for a good chance of moving through here. There is possibly a way in which the matches end up being a 1-2 tie, but that would be very interesting to have happen, so we'll not talk too much about it. The round-robin groups can be a little bit complex to discuss the possible outcomes of, when there's still a lot of matches to be played, because there's just so many different ways it can turn out. So, for the most part, I mean, generally 2-1 moves you through the group, right? So, if soO wins this, he's probably in a good position. Unless they all end up going 2-1, which would maybe mean that Innovation beats Demilove. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? I think they can all go 2-1 if they trade maps against each other. Innovation, soO, and aLive, and Demilove goes 0-3. So that's a possibility as well. So, I mean, there's a few different possibilities. And again, we're very early stages here. There's just our third match. We're not even halfway through the group just yet. So we'll see how this goes. Again, do make sure to spread the word, guys. WardiTV Weekly Season 1 Finals is live. Tell everyone that Innovation versus soO is coming up. Get on Twitter. Tweet at us at WardiTV. Let us know that you're telling people. Get on our StarCraft. Tell them Innovation soO is going to be live very shortly. Tell them that live soO has been pretty good so far as well. In general, it's a pretty sick group. And again, we'll be back tomorrow with more WardiTV Weekly Season 1 Finals. Tomorrow we go live with with Group C. Namshar comes in as the foreign representative, and he'll be taking on Keen, who replaces Zest, unfortunately, as Zest is unable to play, as well as Gumiho and Solar in the group. So, again, a couple of Terrans, a couple of Zergs. We'll see who else is going to advance on through to the round of 8. But again, we still have to figure out who's going to advance on through today for now. As initially here we see a Reaper heading towards the upper left hand side, a Marine patrolling around as well. This time he introduces the Marine into his build order so that he has something to help out against the Zerglings, even if the Reaper is across the map trying to scout. And that Reaper did go across the map, and you did see it was a hatch gas pool, but look at this from soO. Hatch gas pool into a lot of Zerglings, and so soO is once again looking to try and get damage done. Was this not hatch gas pool? Maybe it was side gas pool hatch instead, actually. Yeah, gas pool hatch, sorry, I'm completely wrong, not hatch gas pool. Gas pool hatch, which is probably why he pulled the Reaper back as well. Anyways, a Marine in position right now, and does help to push those couple of Zerglings away, although an SCV does die. And Reaper pulls all the way to the left hand side, which allows these Lings to just run up in towards the natural expansion. Main base will be blocked, but 2 Hellions coming out. Hellion base opening against this should mean that it's not going to be too deadly here. But then, I mean, still 5 workers going down. It's about how many drones soO loses out on by making these Zerglings instead. Getting 6, and now he's definitely an advantage from making this. So this has worked out wonderfully from soO. He's going to see these Hellions doing just a little bit more damage. You're going to see a couple of Lings left over towards the natural. That's 8 workers killed. And we're going to be seeing the stim pack continue to come on up as well. Now you see the Rotron dropping down here from soO in the natural expansion. So Rotron dropping down from soO over in the natural expansion. You'll see these couple of extractors dropping down as well as he gets ready to just go into a roach-based follow-up once again. Again from aLive. I mean, it is free CC. We didn't mention that, but it was coming up in the production tab if you're keeping your eyes on it. So once more, triple command center. We're going to see extra racks being added on. It's a bio-based play. We'll see the double engineering bay very shortly as well, I imagine. The only thing I question is if this time perhaps we see some faster tanks just to shut down the, just to shut down whatever might be happening soon. So, just shut down potential roach-based builds, I guess is what I want to say. Interesting engineering bay positioning, because that actually fully blocks off the entrance to the third base. So that means he's probably going to take the third base on the low ground, which is something Terrence can do. And it's interesting that he kind of commits himself only to doing that so early in the game. Because especially if this turns into an aggressive roach-based build, you don't want to be taking the forward CC. You'd much rather take the CC off to the side, which is a bit more defensive and much easier to hold, as the opponent has to walk into more choke points, etc., and up more ramps to get to it, and to, just in general walk further. So it's an interesting choice already here. As we continue setting up, I'm going to see that stim pack is about 3/4 the way done here. You're going to see a factory with a reactor coming up on it as well. Reactor's just over halfway done too. And, well, Hellions continue to move out in towards the center. Roaches and Ravagers picking off one Hellion already there. So one Hellion going down. Zergling's coming over to the left side. And we're all going to be seeing those Hellions looking to try and get us around on some of those Hellions right here. Looking to try and grab them as they do get back. I mean, now aLive knows that this attack is coming in. He started up a bunker in the back. I mean, these couple of Hellions going to have to come back through here as, well, Corrosive Power is going to get rid of these depots super quickly. SCV's pulling in already as well. Has continued to move forwards aLive. He's stimming. He's getting rid of the Ravagers, to be fair, but it's cost him 15 SCVs so far. And these Marines, well, they're still not safe just yet. Although the bunker is going to finish. Double bunker finishes. Can soO get rid of these? Well, he's going to get rid of one. The other one will be surrounded by some SCVs, a mule as well, but actually not enough of them. The repair won't be enough, and aLive is just going to die to this very aggressive Roach Ravager attack. This time, no upgrades, no tech at all, not even Roach speed, and it's just going to be aLive dying to Roaches once again. Again, a much different Roach-based attack here, this time from soO. But again, it just takes advantage of that fast third CC, the tech in towards double upgrades, and the fact that the Terran player is playing just a little bit greedy with a couple Hellions into no siege tanks, just trying to build up Marine production, but hitting before the Marine production really even kicks in. No combat shields this time around or anything, as Zerglings will surround this army. SCVs keep on dropping, and that is GG. soO picks up a second victory here today. And he goes now 2-0 in this group with 2-0s